minute of silence, and then I'll introduce the course. Just take a moment, and there are two things that we are always going to work with in this course is your body and connecting the body to the divine. And each of you are coming from different paths, and each of you would connect to the divine through your own preferred modes. So just for a minute, connect to your body and connect the body to the divine. And just keep your own aspiration for this course. So many of us would come from our own individual agendas, like we may want to heal our body or make some progress on some emotional attachments or whatsoever. While that would certainly occur, the larger purpose of the course can go far more deeper if you aspire, which is across the earth, there is more focus now on the divinization of the human body, and it's coming easier and easier for more people. So it's like a universal agenda coming in. And that aspiration is put on the collective by the creatrix or the creator. So it's also an invitation to participate in a larger agenda, which is linking your body to the divine. And obviously, there'll be personal benefits, but that's a tiny part of the whole story. There's a possibility that as each of us do it, becomes easier for the whole world. To simply be with the aspiration in a impersonal way, in a universal way. How can you connect the cells of your body, the different parts of your body, to the divine in a very concrete way, to the divine above the head, to the divine in the cave of the heart, to the divine near, the personal aspect of the divine, but also that brings us to the title of the course, Substance of Love, which simply means that at the depth of the body itself, there are divine qualities in a very, very concrete way, if we can discover them. But the clue is, as much as we will get a lot of personal benefits, we don't necessarily have to focus only on that. We can keep the agenda and aspiration more universal, to be an instrument to link your body to the divine. You can stay in the same state and give me a couple of minutes to introduce. We have a combination of repeaters and new people. All of us come here for practice. The agenda of the course I've briefly shared. And come as much for the live practices. And if you miss, there's a recording. Recordings are shared roughly within an hour after the session. And during the week, the attempt is to be in practice. This course runs up till March 2nd. So that's 2 months of practice is what we're looking at. So it's not just practice during this 1 hour, but to be able to do this practice during the whole week, allocating some time, 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, according to your capacity. But that too is not enough to sustain the practice through the day with eyes open in short spurts. So this is what we will attempt. During the session, I'll be facilitating, and when there are gap times when you're doing the practice, I'll also be in practice, but I will observe each one of you who have kept the video on. And it's a very simple method I do. I just pin your video for 2 minutes and I'll just stay with you. Sometimes an insight pops up, sometimes nothing pops up. If an insight pops up, I just note it down in my notebook, and within a day or two, I'll send you an audio so that there's a personalized guidance that can also come in. This is our attempt. During the session, if anything is not clear, you just put it on chat and I will clarify it in the further instructions. So largely it will be practices. We'll take a few quotes here and there for inspiration and we'll move into practice. We'll begin with the first practice now and then we'll take a quote. The first practice is very simple. The attempt here is to marry the body with the divine in a very concrete way. The divine, in many ways, is what we would attempt to marry the body cells with. So the first practice we're going to do, I would request you to hold this practice for 2 months, is to hold the sound of Om within your body. So the way we'll do this practice is not to utter the sound outside, but to silently utter the sound in the body's substance. So what do we mean by substance is when you connect to the body, you become aware of sensations. We will explore that. But the body itself has a weight. It has a mass. When you touch it, it has a density. In this case, you will touch the body with your awareness and you will learn to move it, from the surface to the depth. We'll work on these details later. Right now, for 10 minutes, I'll be quiet. I would request you to play intuitively. Take your awareness to different parts of the body and park it there for some time. The key is you're not doing this from the mind. Okay, so you're not observing the body from your mind. You're observing the body from that location. So for example, if I'm taking my awareness to my stomach and I'm taking my awareness inside and I'm feeling the flesh, you're using your inner senses. So some of you would feel something, some of you will see something. We'll just begin there with the basic. And sometimes you'll just leave off with the energetic component. But then slowly you will feel the substance, the muscles, the cells, etc. And there so you're sensing from there, your awareness is there, and you're aware of the part of the body from there. And there now I'll utter the sound. You can do it in two ways. It can just be the sound Om, or following that, it can be a short name of the divine. Just keep it maximum two syllables. For example, it can be Om, Ma, or Om, something else. And when you utter the sound there, concentrate on the sound, concentrate on the vibration, concentrate on the aspiration of the sound. You're inside your body, but you're not so much focused on yourself. You're focused within the sound, and you're offering the sound to the different parts of the body now, thus preparing the body to become more receptive. If there's any doubt, you can put on chat. I'll wait for a few seconds before we begin. Okay, so do it in a very simple way now. The fine tuning we'll do over the course. We begin now for 10 minutes. In between, I may come in just to clarify if I sense something. Take your awareness now to different parts of the body, spending some time and uttering a few sound vibrations of Om, plus the name of the divine if you wish, and continue this very slowly. When you do it, automatically there can be a certain urgency that may come in. Say, for example, you have a pain somewhere, or an illness somewhere, or a stiffness somewhere. Automatically, you will notice an urgency that you want this to be healed, etc. That simply means that your attention is going to yourself. Sincerity here would mean that your attention is kept on the sound of Om and within the name of the divine. You're not flipping the attention back to you. You're inside your body, but your entire attention is on the sound and the name of the divine. Some of you are doing it from your mind, which means you're observing the part from your mind. It's really not that. You can even place your hand on the part where you're doing the practice. If you're observing from your mind, the practice doesn't work too well. Even, let's say, even if you keep your hand on that part of the body, sense from your hand that part of the body. You're not observing from your mind, you're sensing from that location. So the hand that is placed on that part, from the hand sense the part, utter the sound within that part and sense from your hand or your awareness. You'll have to do this locally in that part. Okay, now just let go. We'll again repeat this practice today after I clarify a few things. For now, just let go and just observe what happens inside your body on its own. Leave your body connected to the divine in some way. Yeah, you just with yourself for a few seconds more, allowing the practice to just continue. Okay, so you can be in the same state. I'll just give a few more clarifications. So many of you are doing it from the mind, so which means you're observing it from the mind. So try and keep the practice local, and we will individual feedbacks I'll give separately. And I would encourage you to use your hands in the beginning. Uh, like, so for example, if I'm working on my arm, just as an example, I keep my hand and I just sense the arm first so that you're very sure you're in that part. This step itself is difficult actually. It's not as easy as it sounds to keep your awareness within a part. So first is generic, later on it'll become point by point, and somewhere later we may get the cells. For now, just keeping it inside the body itself is a big accomplishment, because after some time the mind will start commenting, are we doing it right? And stuff like that. It's curious, it observes. So the practice is done from sensation to sensation, actually speaking. So either your hand is on the part or your awareness is on the part, and you'll get a little bit of sensations first. And that's a evidence that you're in the body. I'll do that more detailed as we do it the second time. And then you're actually learning to travel, through the body's substance. So it's like sliding in or dropping in, and there you utter the sound. Okay. Now, for some of you, I noticed that there was a lot of personal content, which means you're aware of your experiences more than the freshness in the moment. It is in this moment that the sound has been uttered. So we need to be with the sound. But automatically, because of many baggages that we all carry, there's a certain personal element that's coming, which you can just observe for now that it is occurring and flip. And it's like identifying more with the sound, identifying more with the name of the divine, but you can't miss the first step. Okay, so it's the first step is you're inside the body. Very important. You're inside the body and you're sensing from there locally. The second step is you're putting the sound Om there, but you're not identifying to your history, to your memory, to your experience. You're shifting the identification to the sound Om. But many a time when you're doing that, you miss attention of the body. We just flip off somewhere. We have to get these two intact. Okay, so this is what we're going to do again. But this is one story in the body. The entire course is subtle, simple, but we have to nail it at a continuous, even mode. So the second part is staying connected to the divine. For now, we latch it outside. Somewhere after the half of the course or something, we'll try and keep it all inside the body. So I suggest something very concrete now to connect to the divine. Connect to the divine in a very intimate way. It could be the samadhi, a samadhi where you feel the divine presence. Even if you're not in the samadhi, you can take your awareness through concentration and touch the samadhi from wherever you are. You're sitting in your room, but by extending your awareness and concentration, you could take it to the samadhi, but not just leave it outside, take it inside the samadhi. Or if you have an image of the divine, you could connect to the image of the divine. But many a time that just leads to something which is a vague memory or a mental connection. You have to keep the connection in the moment. So take your awareness within the image of the photograph of the divine, for example, and feel the divine in this moment. How do you feel the divine? In this moment, what do you feel inside the samadhi? Like that. I'll guide you. So there are two aspects. I'll repeat and then we'll do the process again. Any doubts, put it on chat before we begin. I'll begin in a minute or two. First, we'll connect to the divine in an intimate way and stay connected to that. Second, we're going to consecrate our body, right? So we take the awareness inside the body, keep the awareness inside the body, keep it local, and just slide a little bit in, and there utter the sound, Om. So now that's, for some it's difficult, we are doing two things. I'm inside the divine, let's say inside the samadhi, I'm inside my body, uttering the sound Om. If both don't come, you can, you know, fluctuate. You can go within the samadhi or the divine. You can again come back to your body, that's fine. In the body, the attempt is to shift away from your personal stories and actually be with the sound Om. Here also, we will notice the play of memories. We know the sound Om. We know what occurs if sound is uttered, which means we are not doing the practice. It needs to be very fresh in the moment, feeling the sound, and something different occurs all the time. This is the practice. Any doubts? Okay. So adjust your posture, be comfortable, and then close your eyes. We'll begin the practice in a minute. Take about 5 minutes and establish your connection with the divine near. What I mean by divine near is to feel the divine in a very intimate way. For example, if a divine master was present and you do go and do pranams, you may touch their feet, for example. That's an intimate connection. But you don't necessarily need to do that only with the divine master sitting in front of you. You can do it with concentration. I'll be quiet for 5 minutes. Connect to a divine or a divine master directly through their photo, through their presence or their samadhi. And for the next 5 minutes, keep your awareness within the image, samadhi, or the presence of the divine. You're inside them with your awareness in a very humble way, and just be present. You're doing just only one thing: stay within the divine. Okay. Now, as you hear me also, continue to stay connected, or rather be present within the divine. This is a recommended practice that you do for the 2 months continuously, which means, let us say, you're working, or let us say you're cooking, and there are a lot of activities that are going to be there. You may be interacting with a lot of people. At that time, what happens is the body substance is left connected to the lots of people outside. It tends to absorb the experiences of yourself and others because the body is a sponge. To shift that habit, this is a master practice once in a while for a few seconds. Your eyes are open, you're talking to somebody, connect, take your awareness within the samadhi, take your awareness within a lingam, for example, just giving different examples. Take your awareness, just connect to your divine master, feel them for a few seconds and keep your awareness within. For me, one of my major anchor points is the hair of Sri Aurobindo, as I see in a photograph of him lying down. What speaks out to you, keep your awareness just within there. This is a main practice for us to do for 2 months. Now, somewhat maintain that connection, and if it loses, just keep your attention back within the divine and bring your attention to your body. Just take one part to work with, one part where you really want to work on this part of the body. Bring your awareness there and ensure that you're actually touching that part, either with your hands or with your awareness. And the evidence for that will be you will notice sensations opening up in that part. That is the proof that you're actually connected to your body. So connect to some part of your body with your hands or awareness and wait for the sensations to open up. You see, now here itself, let's do the two. You're connecting to your body, evidence is sensations. Practice dual concentration. A portion of your awareness is within the divine, the samadhi or presence, and retain a portion of your awareness within your body and its sensation. If both doesn't come, go one after the other, one after the other. The attitude to be taken is consecration, which means I'm choosing to offer my body to the divine. Choice is very important at the human level. We need to aspire, we need to choose. So, holding that aspiration, holding that attitude of surrender, a portion of your awareness within the divine, a portion of your awareness within the body sensation. Always we'll remember to balance effort of sadhana with a silent time for grace to act. So we have done the sadhana at this point, which is the body sensations and being within the presence of the divine. To some extent, we have done our practice. Now just be quiet for a minute, not putting any effort, simply in a receptive state, giving space for the divine to do the work, for the grace to do the sadhana inside us. Remain quiet for a minute. begin the practice back. Remember always to personal sadhana, time for the divine, to do the divine's own action without us interfering. Now let's resume our sadhana. Stay connected to the divine in some way, the samadhi or the presence. Now take your awareness in the same part. Learn to go deeper and deeper. Today is only the beginning. We'll explore it deeper as we go along, but still, in the same part, if you go deeper, there will be a shift in the sensations. I'll give you an example. Let's say you have a pain in a particular part. In the surface of the sensations, there will be the pain, there will be the constrictions, etc. Don't push. If you push, it will not work. It's dropping. It's actually relaxing. It's the more you relax, the more you permeate, the more you stiffen, the more resistance builds up in a body. So the way to actually drop in deeper is to relax that. So there's pain, there's some congestion, for example. Just relax your awareness there and just gently slip in a little bit more deeper in that part. For the next 5, 6 minutes, we're doing the main practice of this course for 2 months, uttering the sound Om. Sometimes the sound Om itself is enough. Like when you're doing it, when you're walking or in between talking to people, that sound itself is enough. Plus a short name of the divine. Utter it right in the depth of the substance in this particular part that you're working on now. Practice dual concentration. Your awareness is within the divine, the samadhi or the presence or the image. Your awareness is within that particular body part in its substance, and there you're uttering the sound. Remember, to drop your personal histories. That won't come in 1 second. We have to train the body cells again and again. Whenever you're getting consumed by yourself, shift, and every microsecond be with the sound, be with its vibration, be with the name of the divine. 5 minutes. Now we have done the practice. Be quiet for 2 minutes in silence, allowing the divine grace to do whatever the divine wants. We'll end our session with a short quote. Just hear the quote and listen to the quote, and we'll again begin the next session with the same quote to go deeper. It's a quote from the mother. When the baker wants to make the dough of his bread rise, he puts some leaven into it, and it is from within that the transformation takes place. When the divine wants to rouse matter, awaken it, and make it rise towards God, he threw himself into matter under the form of love. And it is from within that the transformation takes place. So it is by living from within an organization that one can help it to become enlightened and rise towards the truth. Depending on whatever time you have, you can just give some time to allow the practice to complete by itself. If some of you have a little bit more time, you can even lie down for about 5-10 minutes. It's all up to you. We close the practice for today.